The morning they knocked down my great-grandpa's bridge, I wasn't just mad, I was finished. Done being nice, done answering fancy letters, done trusting grown-ups. That bridge wasn't just rocks and cement, it was what my family left behind. And when? They broke it down without telling me. I decided to do something no one thought I'd ever do. Empty out the entire lake their $4 million fancy hotel needed. It started like any Tuesday 6 hour in the morning. Lake still covered in fog. I'm out on the wooden walkway drinking coffee, listening to birds and creaky boards when I hear the noise. Deep, loud, scary truck sounds. Then through the cloudy air, I see it. A yellow bulldozer moving toward the bridge like a giant monster. 2 more trucks behind. It men in safety jackets, hard hats, walkie-talkies. I ran, I screamed. Didn't help. They had papers. They had orders. They had a mean little woman standing with her arms crossed, wearing white high heels and a fake smile. Barbara Langston, president of the Oak Shores HOA. You can't do this, I yelled. Her voice didn't even get louder. We already did. So Barbara wasn't from around here. She moved in 2 years ago from Arizona, bought a big house by the lake, and in 6 months had pushed her way to the boss of the HOA group, the kind of person who calls police on kids selling lemonade, the kind of person who uses neighborhood rules like a sword. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that bridge wasn't just old, it was special. My great-grandpa, Walter Dean, built it in 1924. Cut limestone rocks by Handstone Bridge, connected our little house to the main road before there were fancy neighborhoods, before Oak Shores was even a name. And hidden in the attic, locked in a fireproof box, were the original ownership papers, maps, and most important, a water rights paper signed by the county in 1923. That paper gave Walter and his family forever control over Lake Norwood. So the bridge wasn't just a bridge, it sat above a backup water drain. Walter designed the dam. He built the extra water channels. The HOA may have thought they controlled this lake, but I legally decided how much water stayed in it. They didn't know that yet, but they would. After they smashed the bridge, I spent 2 days, really angry. Then I did what any good builder does when trapped. I started reading. I called my old teacher at Texas A&M, a guy who knows about old water stuff. I sent copies to my cousin's wife, who works for the state. Water people. I brought in a land measurer. Turns out that water drain hadn't been used in 50 years, but it still worked, and it was mine. Meanwhile, Barbara was just getting started. She gave me a ticket for having a fishing net on my dock, said my mailbox was the wrong color, said my storage building looked too old. Then she sent private guards, her brother-in-law's company, to watch my property, guys with dark sunglasses and notebooks taking pictures of my roof gutters. I started writing down everything, every notice, every visit. I told the state about their fake guards. I asked for HOA money records. Anyone can see these, by the way, and started seeing strange payments. $8, or $0 to Langston Consulting, $5,500 to Norwood Maintenance Solutions, which I found out was run by her nephew, giving jobs to family, cheating. It was all there. But I was playing a long game. You see, the resort across the lake, the one Barbara kept talking about, was paid for by a $4 million business loan. I got a copy of their environment report and found a rule that changed everything. If the lake went down more than 18 inches below full for longer than 72 hours, the bank could demand all the money back right away. So I called a meeting. I showed up to the next HOA boss meeting with a big box full of proof water rights, ownership papers, pictures of the water drain, copies of the payments. I'm not here to fight, I told them. I'm here to give you a choice. Barbara laughed. You're lying. No, I said I'm emptying the lake. She got really red. That's like being a bad guy. No, I said again. That's fixing things. The group voted to say no to my claims. One person didn't vote. The rest did what Barbara wanted. She stood up like she was in a play. Let everyone know that Mr. Dean is dangerous to this neighborhood. That night, I walked to the water drain, opened the metal door, and turned the handle 3 full times. Within 6 hours, the lake went down 11 inches. By lunch the next day, the resort's boat docks were sitting on dirt. Visitors were posting pictures online, mud, dead fish, sunken boats. By the 3rd day, the bank said no more money. Barbara called an emergency meeting, but this time it was crazy. Half the neighbors wanted her to quit. The other half said I was hurting nature. Then the police chief showed up, said they'd gotten a secret phone call. I was messing with public water stuff. I handed him the papers. My great-grandpa built this system. I said legally I run it. He read it twice, shook his head and said, "This is too hard for me." Barbara wasn't finished. She went on the local TV news, called me a scary, crazy person, said I was putting kids in danger, ruining house prices, but every time she talked, people looked a little closer. Her husband's company had gotten $30, 00 in secret payments. Her cousin had been given jobs without fair competition, and her own backyard guest house was built 4 feet into a protected swamp area. 2 weeks later, the county gave her a court order to stop stealing money, misusing power, breaking building rules. The group voted to kick her out. She left town the next morning. The new HOA president, Mrs. Nora Caldwell, an 82-year-old who'd lived here since 1967. She asked me to help write new rules, ones that respected old buildings and neighborhood history. We renamed the rebuilt bridge Walters Crossing. The county even said yes to making it a historic place. 3 months later, the resort opened again with new owners. They talked with me directly. I said yes to keep water levels normal, if they promised to protect the land. We even created a shared scholarship in my great-grandpa's name for engineering students who study clean water systems. Funny how things work out. Now every July we have Bridge Day, live music, fish fry kids jumping off the dock. The same dock Barbara once tried to fine me for. And sometimes I just stand there, hand resting on the limestone rail, listening to the water flowing steady, calm, but strong. Because here's the truth. Water doesn't care about power games or rules. It follows gravity, it follows design, and it remembers who built it. So if someone ever tries to bulldoze your family's legacy, don't just yell, don't beg, learn how things work, know your rights. And if they push you into a corner, let the water speak for you. Now tell me this. What would you have done if someone tore down something your family built with their own hands? Would you fight back or walk away? Write your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your story. And if you're dealing with your own HOA nightmare, stay tuned. Next time, I'll tell you about the cowgirl who used underground treasure rights to stop a rich guy from covering her land with concrete. It gets crazy.